How's it going, everybody? Here with the NFL recap. Gum-chewing NFL recap for week 2 here today. I got my phone this time. Some pretty wild games this weekend, I feel. We'll start with the Thursday night game. Green Bay beats Washington 27-18. To go to 2-0, Washington is 1-1. Daniels has 200 yards passing, 2 TDs, no picks. He's sacked 4 times. Washington runs the ball 19 times for 51 yards. Ertz has 64 yards and a receiving TD. Deebo Samuel has another receiving TD. They get 2 sacks as a team. Oof. Their kicker is 1 of 3 on-field goals, which would have not been a deciding factor. Packers, Jordan Love, 292, 2 TDs, no picks. He's sacked 2 times. Jacobs has 84 yards rushing and a touchdown. They go for 135 as a team. Tucker Kraft, 6 catches, 124 yards and a TD. Daubs has the other receiving TD. They get 4 sacks from 6 different dudes. There's a bunch of half sacks in here. No picks as well, no fumbles. Their kicker, I forgot they have McManus. Another Bronco kicker, former Bronco, they would probably like to have. Still. He's 2 for 3. He does hit a 56-yarder. Packers are going to be good, obviously. They've been pretty good, but I think they're going to continue to do well this season. That was a Thursday game. On to Sunday. The Bengals beat the Jags 31-27. They are 2-0. Jacksonville's 1-1. Jacksonville kind of blew this. Burrow's hurt. Got turf toe or something. Needs surgery. He's out for a little bit. But they managed to lose this game. I think Trevor Lawrence was like, him and his coach had a beef or something. I don't know. Usual football shit. 271 yards for Lawrence, 3 TDs, 2 picks. He's sacked once. Etienne Jr. has 71 yards rushing. Tootin has 42. They run for $139 as a team. Parker Washington, 5 catches, 76 yards. Brown has a receiving touchdown. Tootin has a receiving touchdown. And Etienne Jr. has a receiving TD. Defense has 2 sacks. They get 3 picks as well in this game. I managed to lose. Wingard, Lloyd, and Murray all have picks. Their kicker was 2 of 2. I don't count if a guy missed extra points, I'll let you know. But they needed that win because Burrow only played, I guess, maybe a couple of drives. 76 yards of TD, no picks. He was sacked twice. Browning, the guy who came in 241, 2 TDs, 3 picks. He was sacked once. Brown has 47 yards rushing. Drake Browning has a rushing TD, so he immediately comes in and starts hogging touchdowns. Jamar Chase, 14 catches, $165 and a TD. Higgins has a receiving TD, so does Tinsley. Hendrickson had the lone sack for the Bengals. Battle and Hill have picks. And their kicker just was 1 of 1 for the field goals. He did all his extra points. Yeah, not because Jags would have been 2-0. You got to win that game, I feel. But they were making their mistakes too, so that's how it goes, right? Now, this was an entertaining game. I didn't watch it, but I saw that I was watching the back and forth on the highlights, game cast, whatever. Cowboys beat the Giants 40-37 in OT. And the guy hit like a 64-yard field goal for the Cowboys to tie it. Giants are 0-2, Dallas 1-1. Russell Wilson, 450 yards, 3 TDs, and a pick. He's sacked 3 times. Scatabo, running back, 45 yards and a TD for the Giants. Neighbors has 9 catches for 167 yards and 2 TDs, 9 catches. Nice. Robinson has 8 catches for $142 and a TD. Russell Wilson still has talent. Like, even his second year in Denver, I don't think he's the Russell Wilson he was, but he's not garbage. I don't know if that pick came in overtime and was a serious mistake, but he fumbled but did not lose it. They get 3 sacks from 3 different players. Phillips has a pick. Their kicker was 3 for 3 on the field goals and 4 for 4 on the extra points. Dak Prescott, 361, 2 TDs and a pick. He's sacked 3 times. Javonte Williams off to a nice start. Former Bronco back. 97 yards on 18 carries and a touchdown. Miles Sanders also has a rushing touchdown. CeeDee Lamb, 9 catches, 112 yards. Pickens and Turpin have the receiving TDs. They get 2 sacks, 1 from Houston, 1 from Clark. Wilson also has a pick. Is that the same guy? No. I said Houston and Clark. I don't know where I got that from. Their kicker's 4 for 4, Aubrey. And the long was a 64-yarder. I think he might have been the MVP of this game for them. And like I was saying, these guys hit these 60-plus yarders now. I feel like there's 2 or 3, if not 5, 60-plus yard kicks a season these days. Back in the day, it was extremely rare. But that game is back and forth. The Giants' offense looked good. I don't know if the Cowboys' defense is terrible or not. But Lions beat up on the Bears 52-21. This was the Bears coach's homecoming or whatever he used to be. I think the offensive coordinator for the Lions. So the Lions decide to drop 52 on him. Bears 0-2. Lions 1-1. Williams has 2 TDs, a pick, 270 yards. He's sacked 4 times for the Bears. Bagant plays briefly, 2 for 3, 27 yards. Swift has 63 yards rushing and a TD. Adunze, 7 catches, a $128 and 2 TDs. Nice little game for him. Swift loses a fumble. They get no sacks, no picks. Their kicker only hits 3 extra points. Goff has 334, 5 TDs and no picks. He's not sacked. Gibbs and Montgomery both have rushing touchdowns. Gibbs has 94 yards rushing. Montgomery has 57. So that tandem's back. Montgomery, did he get hurt at the end of last season, I think, right? Or one of them did. St. Brown, 9 catches, 115 yards, 3 touchdowns. Williams has 2 catches for 108 yards and a touchdown. Wright has the 3rd receiving touchdown. They get 4 sacks from 4 different players. Kirby Joseph has a pick. Their kicker goes 1 for 2. He's 7-7 on his extra points, though. Nice bounce back game for the Lions since they lost that game 1 pretty badly to the Packers. I think this division's going to be a 2-team race this year. I think it's going to be between the Lions and the Packers. I don't think the Bears and the Vikings are going to put up too much of a fight, but you never know. I think McCarthy is hurt too, J.J. McCarthy, even though he played like crap last game. Rams beat the Titans 33-19. Rams 2-0, Titans 0-2. Stafford, 2 TDs, a pick. He sacked once, 298 yards. Williams has 66 yards rushing. Puka has 1 rush for 45 yards and a TD. Corum has the other rushing TD. Devontae Adams, 6 catches, 106 yards and a TD. Puka has 91 yards on 8 catches as well. Allen has the other receiving TD. Byron Young has 2 sacks. And then Curl has a sack. Turner has a sack. Stewart has a sack. 5 sacks as a team, pretty solid. Their kicker was 2 for 2 field goals, and his long was 21 yards. He did miss an extra point. Titans, Cam Ward, his second game is better than his first, but not by a ton. 175 yards, a TD, no picks. He sacked 5 times. Pollard has 92 yards rushing. Iomaner has a receiving TD. Calvin Ridley has 57 yards receiving to lead the way. Cam Ward loses a fumble. They get 1 sack from Hooker. Cody Barton has a pick. The kicker was 4 for 4. Joey Sly. He's 4 for 4 with a 57-yarder for a long. Like 57 back even in the freaking early 2000s, I feel mid-2000s. 57 was like, oh man. Now I feel like guys will hit a 57-yard field goal like 9 out of 10 times. Back in the day, it'd be like 5 out of 10 times. Patriots beat the Dolphins 33-27 in Miami. Dolphins 0-2, Pats 1-1. Dolphins not looking good now. The fans have turned on them. As it goes, Drake May 230 yards, 2 TDs, no picks. He sacked 3 times. Stevens 54 yards rushing. Drake adds 31 yards rushing and a rushing TD. Stevenson has 88 yards passing, receiving on 5 catches. Boot has a receiving TD. Hollins has a receiving TD. Well, they get 5 sacks here. 2 from Williams, 1 from Spillane, 1 from Landry III, and 1 from Chasen. Mapu has a pick. 53-yarder for their kicker. He's 2 for 2 as long as 53. I'm setting this up for the Denver game. Their kicker has 1 kick, and it's a shorter one. He botches it, costing the game. Tua has 2 TDs, a pick, 315 yards. He sacked 5 times. A chain. How would you say his last name? He has 30 yards rushing to lead the way. Tyreek Hill, 6 catches, 109 yards. A chain, I don't know. 8 catches, 92 yards, and a touchdown. Waddle has a receiving touchdown as well, and 68 yards. They get 3 sacks from 3 different people. Their kicker's 2-2 with a long of 44. Dolphins. They didn't. I mean, Mike McDaniel's their coach. He got in the playoffs for at least twice, right? But was this his 3rd or 4th year coaching team? I don't know. I don't know everything. But they were looking very promising. I feel like they would always start really hot and slow down bad, and then lose that first playoff game. Like they'd almost like lose a chance to take the division and get a home game, and it would cost them. They seem to have a pretty fast downfall here, surprisingly, because offensively you're always like, oh, this team's on the up and coming. You know, that's sports though. Things will change very quickly. '49ers beat the Saints 26-21. Niners are 2-0. Saints are 0-2. And Mac Jones was subbing in because Purdy's hurt. 279 yards, 3 TDs, no picks. He sacked 3 times. McCaffrey has 55 yards rushing. Jennings has 89 yards receiving on 5 catches and a TD. McCaffrey has the other receiving TD and 52 yards. Purcell has 56 yards rushing. Mac Jones does fumble twice and loses 1. They get 3 sacks from 3 different players. Their kicker's 2-2 with a long 46. He does miss an extra point, which did not come back to bite them. Spencer Rattler, 207 yards, 3 TDs, no picks. He sacked 3 times. Kamara has 99 yards rushing. Allah, whatever. 54 yards receiving on 6 catches. Shaheed has a receiving TD. Johnson has a receiving TD. And, Broncos former player. I don't know how to say his last name. It's Valet or Vale. He had a receiving TD. He was there like sixth. He was a late pick last year and had a solid year, but they traded him. It really hasn't been an issue for Denver at first because Franklin's playing much better. Kamara does lose a fumble. 2 sacks for Granderson. Rump the second has the other sack. Their kicker's 0-1. On the field goals, he hits all his extra points. I mean, any win the 49ers can get with a lot of their guys hurt is key. Bills beat up on the Jets 30-10. So the Bills are just going to win their division again, most likely easily. 2-0, Jets 0-2. I think Fields got a concussion. I'll get to him in a minute. Josh Allen, $148, no TDs, no picks. He's sacked once. Trubisky comes in, 1 for 232 yards. James Cook goes nuts, 132 yards rushing, 2 TDs. Moore has a rushing TD. Palmer leads the way with 47 yards receiving. Kincaid has 37 receiving. They have no receiving TDs. They get 3 sacks, 4 sacks from 5 different players, a couple of half sacks in there. Their kicker's 3 of 3 with a long 52. Did they get a 9? No, they just had all rushing TDs. They did run for 224 yards as a team. So they were like, screw it, we're just going to rush it here, Josh Allen. It's going to be a light day for you. Don't worry about it. We're going to just run the ball here. Tyrod Taylor has to play for the Jets. He has 56 yards and a TD, no picks. Fields 3 for 11, 27 yards, no TDs, no picks. They both sacked twice. Field did run for 49 yards. They run for 100 as a team. Brees Hall has 29 yards on 10 carries. Garrett Wilson 4 for 50 receiving. Ruckert has a receiving TD. Fields did fumble twice and lose 1. The lone sack is from Briggs. Their kicker's 101, Nick Folk, with a 51-yarder. It's going to be a long season, realistically, for the Jets. They looked promising offensively in week 1, and then it's just like... Seahawks beat the Steelers 31-17. Now, I realized there was new kickoff rules, but I don't know what happened here, but a rookie on the Steelers, I don't know if he touched the kick, which would make sense because it would have been a live ball anyway. I think he just let it go, the kick, but it didn't land in the end zone for a touchback. It bounced before the end zone, then went into it, and he didn't touch it, and then Seattle jumped on it. It was a TD for Seattle. I don't fully know the rules, but I assume because it landed in play, he had to field it or at least down it. But since he didn't, and it went into the end zone, it was a live ball. I don't know. I don't pay attention to that shit, the new rules and stuff. But either way, it was a blunder. They essentially cost him the game. Darnold, 2 TDs, 2 picks. He sacked twice, 295 yards. Walker III has 105 yards rushing, 13 carries and a TD. Jackson, number 11, 8 catches, 103 yards. Horton and Barner have TDs receiving. 1.5 sacks from Murphy II. Reed has a sack. Picks from Kobe Bryant, not that one. And Kendrick. The kicker's 1-2 with a long of 54. Aaron Rodgers comes a little back down to earth here in his second game. Not that he isn't still good, but he lit it up in that first game. He has 203 yards on 18 of 33, a TD, 2 picks. He's sacked 3 times. Mason Rudolph came in for 2 passes and was 2 of 2 for 12. Warren leads the way with 48 yards rushing. Warren also leads the way with 86 yards receiving on 4 catches. DK Metcalf has the receiving TD. They get 2 sacks from 2 different dudes. Herbig and Ramsey each have picks. Their kicker Boswell is 3 of 3 with a long 48. So yeah, the blunder kills the momentum because I think the game was tied at the moment. 17-all, I think. That was a game changer. Each team is 1-1. Ravens beat up on the Browns 41-17. Ravens 0-2. I'm sorry, Cleveland 0-2. Ravens 1-1. Flacco, 199 yards, a TD and a pick. He's sacked twice. Gabriel comes in, goes 3 of 3 at 19 yards and a TD. Judkins, I don't know. 10 carries, 61 yards rushing. Judy, 51 yards receiving to lead the way. Tillman and Sampson, each receiving TDs. Flacco loses a fumble. They get 3 sacks, 1 from Bush, 1.5 from Myles Garrett, a half a sack from Cameron Thomas. Their kicker's 1-1, no picks. Let me guess the Ravens ran the ball. No, they did not. They usually run the ball like crazy. But Lamar Jackson with 225 yards, 4 TDs, no picks. He sacked 3 times. They only run the ball for 45 yards as a team on 21 carries. Usually they're like 150 plus. Zay Flowers, 7 catches, 75 yards. Hopkins has a receiving TD. Walker has 2 receiving TDs. And Wallace has a receiving TD. They have 2 sacks. Nate Wiggins has a pick for 61 yards. Their kicker, Tyler Loop, 2 for 2. There's a long 43. Hits all his extra points as well. Kind of just like similar to the Lions, a bounce back win against a team they should beat. And they beat up on them. After I was reading this stat, and the fans were saying it too for Baltimore. Like, over the past 5-6 years, they've blown 8 games that they were leading by a good amount in the final 4 minutes or something. I was just like, yep. That's why they're losing those key playoff games when you don't think they should. Colts beat the Broncos 29-28. Colts 2-0. Denver 1-1. Denver's D was carved up this game, and there was 2 mistakes that pretty much cost Denver the game completely. Bo Nix did one of them. He has 206 yards, 3 TDs, and a pick. He's not sacked. But his pick came, I only can go by Instagram at this point. They said he should have just taken a sack or something. But they were up 8, and were driving. They were in Indy's territory, and they could have at least settled for a field goal attempt or get a TD to take the lead and put the game away. But he throws a pick deep in Indy's territory. Dobbins, though, 76 yards rushing and a TD. Troy Franklin, 8 for 89 receiving a TD. He's doing pretty well this year, which is good. Mims Jr. has a receiving TD, and Troutman has a receiving TD. They have no fumbles. They get a sack from, Stroud. And their kicker, Will Lutz, 0 for 1. That was another thing that happened. They would have went up 5. No, wait, what were they up? They were up 2. They would have went up 5. He missed a 40-yarder. I think these might have went back-to-back, maybe. Because Indy didn't punt. Denver's D was doing a lot of the bend, don't break. They let up 5 field goals. But those 2 mistakes, and Lutz misses it. And also, I'll get to the Colts now. Their kick to win it, there was a leverage penalty on Denver. The guy missed the first kick. They showed this play. This leverage penalty is always annoying. This didn't even affect anything. But it gave him 15 yards, and he kicks the next one, right? That's how it goes. If Lutz hits his damn field goal, or Nix doesn't make a mistake, when they can go up 2 touchdowns, you win the game. So you know what? Don't be relying on bad calls or what you think are bad calls, because it happens every game to every team. Daniel Jones, 316, TD, no picks. He was sacked on 1 time. He's ripping it up. Taylor went pretty nuts, 165 yards. He had a long of 68. That was a huge one. Like I said, Denver could not stop them. They were stopping them in their own territory to hold them to field goals, but they couldn't stop them from just getting down into their territory. They couldn't do it. Daniel Jones steals a touchdown, a rushing touchdown. Warren, 79 yards receiving to lead the way. Jonathan Taylor does have a receiving TD. Pierce has 68 yards receiving. They have no sacks. The pick is from Bynum. Yeah, their kicker is 5 of 5 with a long of 45. And Lutz comes in there, 1 kick, get it done. Nope. Because I knew the second he missed that field goal, I was watching the game cast. I'm like, they're going to lose this game because they can't stop them. Indy's going to at least get a field goal opportunity. They were stopping him from getting TDs. They only had 2 TDs and 5 field goals. But they needed that field goal to go up 5 so they could at least force Indy to score a touchdown. And you don't do it. But Indy gets a nice win there. They haven't even played bad. Their defense played terribly. Surtain did roll an ankle, I think, so he was playing a little on a ginger ankle. Hopefully he doesn't miss any time moving forward. He did come back in. They probably should have just left him out the rest of the game. Yeah, he missed a 60-yarder. That was the one, and then they gave him 15 yards on the penalty. It's a 45-yarder. How the hell is that a 15? Football penalties are always weird, how they throw out the yards per one. Like some are a cardinal sin, and some are just like, yeah, whatever. They're both, Denver, I said that. Denver's 1-1, Colts 2-0. Cardinals beat the Panthers 27-22 to move to 2-0. Panthers are 0-2. Bryce Young, 3 TDs and a pick. He sacked 3 times, 328 yards. Hubbard, 38 yards rushing. They only have 49 yards as a team. McMillan, 6 catches, 100 yards. Renfro has 2 receiving TDs, and Hubbard has 1 as well. Bryce Young does lose a fumble. They have 1 sack by... I can't even say... His first name's Princely, maybe? Wanham has a pick. Their kicker's a 101 on the field goals. Kyler Murray, 220 yards, a TD, a pick for the Cardinals. Connor has 34 yards rushing and a touchdown. McBride, 78 yards receiving. Wilson has the receiving TD. They get 2 sacks from Campbell, Calais Campbell. Josh Sweat has a pick, a touchdown. Wow, a sack. Browning has the pick. Their kick is 2-2 with a long of 47. Eagles beat the Chiefs. Rematch of the Super Bowl in KC, 20-17. Chiefs 0-2. Eagles 2-0. They did get a push touchdown. And someone was like, that touchdown was scored in the meetings where they denied getting rid of that play. They did a vote to see if they would ban that play. Hurts, 101 yards, no TDs, no picks. He sacked twice. Barkley, 88 yards rushing a TD. Hurts rushes for a TD. Devonta Smith, 53 yards receiving to lead the way. Interesting enough with the Chiefs, these are 2 games where you're just like, the Chiefs will win these games. Maybe not against the Eagles, because the Eagles have the pedigree now, too. They've gone to a couple Super Bowls recently. They have won. They won the one last year. But still, the Chiefs would win these games typically. Like, the other team doesn't take a big enough lead, and then the Chiefs take it at the end. Hasn't happened yet. They have 2 sacks as a team. Makuba has a pick for 41 yards. Their kicker's 2 for 2, Jake Elliott, with a long of 58. Mahomes, 187 yards, a TD and a pick. He sacked it 2 times. He just rushed for 66 yards and a TD to lead the way. Kelsey, 61 yards receiving. Thornton has the receiving TD. They get a sack, and it's from Norman Lott. Their kicker's 1-2, and he's a 56-yard for a long. I don't know how the one he missed was, but that could have put him into overtime. It could have been a 70-yard attempt. Who knows? Chiefs 0-2. They'll correct it. They'll play teams they'll beat, but you never want to start 0-2. Although Denver's 1-1, Raiders are 1-1, Chargers are 2-0. Come on. Vikings beat the... Wait, what is this? Oh, Sunday Night Football. Falcons beat the Vikings 22-6. Falcons 1-1, Vikings 1-1. Pretty sure McCarthy got hurt here. He wasn't doing anything to begin with, but we'll get to him. Penix Jr., 135 yards, no TDs, no picks. He's sacked 3 times. They run for 218 yards, too. Robinson has 143. Algier, how do we say his name? He has 76 yards rushing a TD. London leads the way with 49 yards receiving. He does lose a fumble as well. 1.5 sacks for Harrison, 1.5 sacks for Dorless. Another sack for Walker, another sack for Floyd. 0.5 sacks apiece for Pierce Jr. and Orhoro. They have 6 as a team. Watson Bowman Jr. have picks. Their kicker's 5 for 5. Parker Romo. It's a pretty good name, actually. He's 5 for 5 on his field goals, a long of 54. You have a kicker that's good in today's NFL, who win you games pretty consistent. Like, your kicker could win you 4 or 5 games this season. I'm not kidding. It's crazy. McCarthy comes back down to earth in his second start. 158 yards, no TDs, 2 picks. He sacked 6 times. His QBR is a 6.1. Mason has 30 yards rushing to lead the way. Justin Jefferson, 3 catches, 81 yards. McCarthy fumbles 3 times and loses 1. Price also loses a fumble. They get 3 sacks from 3 different players. Their kicker's 2 for 2, 51-yarder. I think it said he was hurt, McCarthy. Unless it's a different McCarthy on the on the Vikings. I could look at his name, but I don't feel like it. And to the 2 Monday night games. Bucks beat the Texans 20-19. Bucks are 2-0, Texans 0-2. Baker Mayfield, 215, 2 TDs, no picks. He sacked 4 times. White has 65 yards rushing to TD. Irving has 71 yards rushing. They go for $169 on 30 carries as a team. Mike Evans 5 for 60, 56 to lead the way. Miller and Egbuka each have receiving TDs. They get 3 sacks as a team. Their kicker misses the only field goal he takes, and he hits his 2 extra points. Stroud 207 yards, a TD, no picks. He sacked 3 times. Chubb 43 yards rushing and a TD. Collins has 52 yards receiving and a TD. They get 2 sacks from Hunter. Will Anderson Jr. as a sack. Rankins as a sack. Their kicker's 2-2 with a long of 53. Bucks 2-0. Texans are 0-2. And the last game, Chargers beat the Raiders 20-9 to go to 2-0. Raiders 1-1. Herbert 242, 2 TDs, no picks. He sacked twice. Herbert has 31 yards rushing to lead the way. Johnston 71 yards receiving at TD. Keenan Allen another receiving TD on top of 61 yards. Herbert fumbles twice and loses 1. Henley has a sack. Caldwell has a sack. Mack has a sack. They get picks from Henley, Jefferson, and Jackson. Their kicker is 2 for 2. With a long of 38. Geno Smith, not a good game. 180 yards, no TDs, 3 picks. He sacked 3 times. Janty. He has 43 yards. He's the rookie, right? He has 43 yards rushing. Myers has 68 yards receiving to lead the way. They get 2 sacks from Lalou. That's the only sacks they have. And their kicker is 3 of 3. Long 54. Chargers 2-0. Not bad. That ends the week there. I'm at 33 minutes. I'll keep this well under 40. So let's go to week 3 and see who's playing. Dolphins Bills started in Buffalo on the 18th, on Thursday. Packers got the Browns. Colts are playing the Titans, so they can go to 3-0. Bengals have the Vikings. Steelers play the Patriots. Rams, Eagles, battle with 2-2-0s. Jets go to the Buccaneers. Raiders go to the Commanders. Falcons play the Panthers. Texans, Jaguars. Broncos go to San Diego. Saints got to play Seattle. Cowboys against the Bears. Cardinals, 49ers, and Monday night, the Sunday night game is Chiefs at Giants. Battle the 0-2s. And the Lions play the Ravens. That could be a good one on Monday Night Football. So, 2 weeks down. We're on to week 3. Here we go. But yeah, thanks for checking this out.